Okay, we're going to do a little follow-up before we actually go to the next tutorial. And the, pardon me, the information I want to go over now is something called data flow, right? See if I can blow this up a little bit bigger. Let's see here. We're doing a presentation, so we should. Oh, there we go. Okay. Our data flow, we saw the NS array example where we have a static array, it sends information into the table view. Alright, or the information is populated in the table view via the application. It's a one-way deal. You can't change this. In our previous tutorial, we had the NS mutable array. We could fill up the table view, and we could have the user change it if the user wanted to, and then it would refill. But when we start the application again, it goes back to the original array. The flavor of what you want to do with these arrays is up to you. If you have a static list, or say 5 choices only to choose from, you may want to use the NS array as opposed to the NS mutable array if there's no reason to change it. In the last example, and I want to emphasize too that, by the way, the last example is linked to an NS mutable array. That's why it goes through the user to some degree. It really should be, probably should. I'm going to go through this. So the user, okay, contacts the application delegate, which will create the arrays needed, and actually those arrays are NS mutable arrays. Now it's really in here. When it does that, it populates information from, or actually contacts the database. So we go from user to app delegate to create the arrays. Then we call on the database to then populate the arrays and fill the table view. So we'll go over that just one more time again. User calls on the app delegate to create the arrays. SQLite is called upon to populate the arrays, and this is really in a class, an Xcode class, to populate the arrays. This way, the arrays are populated and then filled up in table view application, whatever our application, whatever that might be. So what is the benefit of this flow as opposed to these? Well, the user can either call upon the information or save it, or change it and save it, insert, delete information, and once that happens in the database, every time that information is called upon and fills the arrays in the app delegate, it changes in the application. And this is an actual real change. So every time you load that application up, when it calls upon the information that's now current in the database, it will populate that application. So for example, if you were to have, say, I don't know, you were saving a list of records, or you were saving a phone directory, and you made some changes to that phone directory. Okay, you called upon the app delegate, created your arrays, called upon the data, that populates the arrays, you look at it in the table view, you change it, save the changes, which you are the user, that's you, you're saving the changes, and again you're calling upon this whole sequence of events, and then you're going to repopulate it with the changes. Seems a little bit on the complicated side, but the point is this: the changes are retained once the application is restarted. In terms of time, what we were speaking about in time, when they're repopulated is another question. Here, you don't have this flexibility. You can create some code to do that, but the bottom line is the arrays are static at the beginning. They can be modified. They can be added or deleted, in this case, right here, but not here. And then once they are, there's no way of saving that to code, so that when you rerun the app, you'll have that new array in there. SQLite database serves the purpose. plist can also serve that purpose. We're not going to do plist because plist has other issues involved in it, which I think for the most part, do not make life easy. I mean, it's also, when you look at a plist, you're looking at a static arrangement of data. You don't have the flexibility to arrange it how you would like on a SQL-like database. So this is our data flow. When we come back for tutorial number 7, what I'd like to do is add something to our NS mutable array, show you how that's done, and also push a new view to do the adding of that data. And once we complete that, then we'll be at a stage of the game where we can also show you maybe an alert view when we add that to our app as it is. And at that point, we might look at pickers at this point, maybe adding some sort of picker option to add data to the array as well in a different form. And then once we're finished at that point, I think we'll go to a new app, which is going to be SQLite, but that's down the road. So for tutorial number 7, it will be connecting that add button to the array. We're going to add something to the array and, of course, push a new view. In any event, take care. We'll see you next time.